All right, so get this. Today we're going deep, really deep into a story that might surprise you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's about connecting like ancient biblical stories, like Old Testament stuff,
Okay.
with, get this, the modern world of entrepreneurship.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, we're going to be looking at this story of Abraham, you know, the patriarch,
Right.
to see if we can uncover some insights that can help us launch and lead ventures today.
Cool.
So get ready for some aha moments because we're going to see how taking risks, having a long-term vision,
Mm.
and strong leadership are just as relevant now as they were thousands of years ago.
It's amazing how these ancient stories still resonate with us.
Yeah,
It's like they tap into some fundamental truths about being human.
exactly. And that's exactly what we're going to explore.
Awesome.
Our source material today makes a case for looking at Abraham's journey as like a metaphor for the path of an entrepreneur.
And what's fascinating is how it goes beyond just drawing parallels.
Right.
It actually extracts specific actionable things we can all learn from.
Oh, interesting. Like even if you're not starting a business.
Yeah, even if you're pursuing any goal, really.
So let's jump right in. The source really emphasizes this connection between faith and entrepreneurship.
Think about it. Abram, who becomes Abraham later,
Mm-hmm.
he gets this message from God
Okay.
telling him to leave his home, his comfort zone,
Mm-hmm.
and travel to a totally new land that God promises him.
Wow.
Talk about a leap of faith.
It's like when an entrepreneur pours their heart and soul and savings into an idea
Yes.
that nobody else really gets yet,
Uh-huh.
but they just have this like gut feeling,
Yes.
this unwavering belief that it's going to work.
That's exactly it.
Okay.
Having that deep conviction in your vision, even when you're facing total uncertainty, even when you're surrounded by people saying, no way, that'll never work.
Yeah, yeah.
But here's the thing. It's not about blind faith.
Okay.
The source really highlights this concept of calculated risk-taking.
So it's not just about like throwing caution to the wind and hoping for the best.
Not at all.
Okay.
Think about Abraham. He didn't just wander aimlessly into the desert.
Right.
He gathered information, assessed his resources, and, strategized.
So he was smart about it.
Exactly. That's where the calculated part comes in.
Makes sense.
So for modern entrepreneurs, it's about doing your homework,
Yeah.
researching, understanding your customer,
Right.
and then, with a healthy dose of confidence, taking that leap.
Gotcha.
And that applies whether you're a tech startup or, a small business owner opening a shop.
The source uses this powerful example from Genesis 12.1
Yeah.
to illustrate this point
Okay.
that like Abraham leaving his homeland
Right.
for a completely unknown destination.
Oh, wow.
Can you imagine the pressure?
Yeah, I mean, his entire family depended on his decision.
That's a lot of responsibility.
Huge responsibility.
So it's about having the courage to step outside your comfort zone, but also the wisdom to make informed decisions and the awareness of the impact of those decisions.
Yes, definitely.
And that brings us to another like interesting parallel between Abraham's story and entrepreneurship, the long-term vision.
Oh, yeah.
So God didn't just tell Abraham to go somewhere new. He promised him something way bigger,
Right.
a great nation.
Mm-hmm.
This wasn't about instant gratification.
Yeah.
It was about building a legacy that might take like generations.
Generations to realize.
Like entrepreneurs who build companies not just for the money,
Yeah,
but because they want to create something that will last,
exactly.
something that will have a positive impact on the world.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
But how can entrepreneurs actually apply this long-term thinking?
In a world that often just cares about what's happening right now.
Yeah, the short-term gains.
Yeah.
How do they actually do that?
Well, it starts with some fundamental questions.
Like what?
Like, what kind of impact do I want to make?
Okay.
What problem am I solving?
Mm.
What will my company be known for in 10, 20, even 50 years?
Wow. Okay, so you really have to look ahead. So it's
Yeah.
about defining your why, right?
Yes.
And then making choices that are aligned with that larger vision, even if they don't make you money right away.
Precisely.
Got it.
And this long-term thinking shows up in things like, sustainability,
Okay.
social responsibility, building a brand that stands for something meaningful.
Right.
It's about understanding that success isn't just about money, but about the legacy you leave behind.
It's about creating a business that not only makes a profit, but also creates value for its employees,
Yeah.
its customers, and the community.
Exactly. And this brings us to another important part of Abraham's story,
What's that?
the themes of leadership and responsibility.
Okay.
He didn't go on this journey alone.
No.
He brought his entire family, all his possessions.
So he was responsible for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
This wasn't just about him.
Right.
It was about leading others toward a shared goal.
It's like a good reminder that entrepreneurship is not a solo thing.
Totally.
You're building a team, a culture.
Yeah, the community.
And that's where leadership comes in.
Exactly.
It's about motivating people to do their best work
Mm-hmm.
and creating an environment where everyone feels valued.
Absolutely.
So it's not just about having a great idea, right?
No.
It's about communicating that idea, bringing people along,
Yeah.
and building a strong team that can make that vision happen.
Yes.
But how can entrepreneurs, especially new ones, inspire and lead effectively?
You know, when they might not have a ton of resources or experience?
Yeah.
I think it all starts with authenticity.
Authenticity.
Yeah, people can spot a fake a mile away.
Right.
If you genuinely believe in your vision, if you're passionate, that energy, it's contagious. People will be drawn to it and want to join you.
So you have to really believe in it yourself first.
Exactly. And then it's about communicating clearly.
Okay.
Make sure everyone on your team understands why you're doing what you're doing.
So they know it's not just about the money.
Right.
There's a bigger purpose,
Yes, and help them see the bigger picture.
like the impact they're making.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
And it's also about recognizing and celebrating their contributions.
Celebrating.
Yeah, people need to feel valued and appreciated
Mm-hmm.
and like they're part of something bigger than themselves.
So it's about more than just telling people what to do.
Yeah, way more.
It's about creating a culture
Right.
where everyone feels responsible
Yeah,
and knows that they play a part in the success.
that's a key insight. And it's something that Abraham seemed to understand.
Hmm.
You know, as a leader,
Yeah.
he recognized the strengths of his people and empowered them.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't a dictatorship. It was a collaboration.
And that idea of collaboration is something that we see in lots of successful businesses today, right?
Absolutely. And it brings us to another point from the source material.
Okay.
True entrepreneurial success isn't just measured by profits.
Oh, interesting.
It's also about the positive impact on the team
Okay.
and on the wider community.
That's a good point.
It's about going beyond just transactions and recognizing that business is about people.
It's like that saying, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
I love that.
Yeah, it's a good one.
And that applies to your team, your customers, your suppliers, everyone you work with.
It's about building a business that is not just profitable, but also ethical,
Yeah.
sustainable,
Mhm.
contributes to the world.
Exactly. And I think that's one of the most inspiring takeaways from Abraham's journey.
What is?
He wasn't just building a business, he was building a nation,
Right.
a legacy for generations to come.
It really is amazing how a story from so long ago can offer such timeless wisdom.
I know. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's a testament to how powerful these stories are.
Mm.
They really speak to shared human experiences.
So we've seen how Abraham's story gives us insights into risk-taking, long-term vision,
Yes.
and leadership. All super important for entrepreneurs,
Mm-hmm.
but there's so much more to unpack.
There is.
We're going to go even deeper into these themes in the next part of our deep dive.
Can't wait.
We'll look at specific examples from Abraham's story and connect them to real-world businesses.
Sounds good.
You know, it's kind of wild to think about the challenges that Abraham faced, like leaving his homeland, venturing into like the unknown,
Oh, totally.
leading his family and, his followers.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's a pretty daunting picture for sure.
And one specific challenge that sticks out in the source is this encounter with famine,
Oh, right.
in the land of Canaan.
Yeah.
It's like Genesis 12.10, I think.
Yeah.
And it's something that a lot of entrepreneurs can relate to, right?
For sure.
Facing unexpected obstacles,
Mm-hmm.
economic downturns,
Yeah, definitely.
things that threaten their vision.
Absolutely. It's like that moment when the initial excitement of starting something new wears off.
Right.
And you hit the harsh reality of the market.
Yeah.
Honeymoon's over.
Yeah. And suddenly that carefully crafted business plan feels like it's like going up in flames.
Totally. So what do you do? How do you deal with that?
Well, the source points out that Abraham didn't give up.
Oh.
He didn't just abandon his vision when things gained up.
So he was resilient.
Yeah, super resilient. He adapted,
Like pivoted.
Exactly. He sought temporary refuge in Egypt,
Oh, interesting.
but he never lost sight of that long-term goal.
So it's recognizing that the path to success isn't always like a straight line.
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
There are going to be detours, bumps in the road.
Unexpected challenges.
For sure.
And it's about being flexible, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Adjusting your approach,
Yeah.
but like not losing sight of your core goals.
It's like startups that, they change their business model,
Right.
or companies that add new product.
To adapt to, like, the market.
Exactly. You got to be agile, roll with the punches.
It's like they say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Right. But it's not just about survival. It's about using those experiences to your advantage.
Okay, yeah, I get that.
To refine your strategy and come back even stronger.
So you learn from your mistakes.
Exactly. And the source suggests that even in Egypt, during that difficult time, Abraham continued to build up his resources.
So he was always thinking ahead.
Always thinking ahead, preparing for that eventual return to the promised land.
That's smart.
Right. And that brings us to another fascinating aspect of Abraham's leadership: conflict resolution.
Oh, okay.
The source highlights the story of the separation between Abraham and his nephew Lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember that.
It's Genesis 13, I think.
Okay.
And it's like a classic example of how to handle disagreements.
Right, because conflict is bound to happen.
Oh, absolutely, especially in like a high-pressure environment.
Like a startup.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So how did Abraham handle it?
Good question.
He approached it with wisdom and generosity.
Okay.
He realized the tension, between their herdsmen.
Was a problem.
It was threatening their shared vision.
Right, so he proposed a peaceful separation.
Oh, interesting.
And he let Lot choose first.
Wow, so he put Lot's needs before his own.
Exactly. He prioritized the greater good.
Hmm.
It's a powerful lesson,
In what?
Communication, compromise, putting the team first.
Right, because your ego can get in the way sometimes.
Totally. Think about entrepreneurs today
Okay.
facing conflicts within their companies.
Yeah, like disagreements between co-founders.
Yeah.
Or even just like personality clashes.
Exactly. And Abraham's approach gives us a model to follow.
Okay.
It's about really listening, finding common ground,
Okay.
solutions that work for everyone.
So it's about creating that kind of culture, right?
Yes. A culture of respect.
Where people feel comfortable disagreeing.
Yeah, and where disagreements are seen as like opportunities to grow.
Not as threats.
Right. And sometimes the best solution is to just split amicably.
Go your separate ways.
Yeah, but on good terms. Makes sense. And this brings us back to leadership and a responsibility. It's about making those tough choices.
Even when they're unpopular.
Yeah.
And always being fair.
And empowering others to lead, too.
That's a great point. The source mentions that even after splitting with Lot,
Yeah.
Abraham continued to mentor and support him.
Really?
Yeah, like in Genesis 14, when Lot got into trouble,
Yeah.
Abraham came to his rescue.
That's an awesome example of servant leadership.
It really is.
Investing in others even when they're not on your team anymore.
Exactly. True leadership is about empowering others to reach their full potential.
And it's about leaving a legacy that goes beyond just you.
Think about entrepreneurs who build networks, mentor others, and have a positive impact on their whole industry.
Yeah, it's like they're creating a ripple effect.
Totally. They inspire others to lead with the same values.
It's about understanding that success isn't a competition. There's room for everyone to win.
Right, and by supporting others, you're actually creating a better environment for everyone.
And building a legacy that goes way beyond just what you accomplish on your own.
Absolutely. Now, as we go deeper into Abraham's journey, there's this pivotal moment.
What happened?
The source highlights this call to sacrifice his son Isaac.
Oh, wow, that's intense.
It is. It's Genesis Coming too.
Yeah, I remember that story.
It's a tough one to grapple with.
Yeah.
But it offers some really profound insights.
Into what?
Sacrifice, commitment, and the ultimate test of trust.
It's a heavy story for sure.
It is. I mean, the emotional turmoil Abraham must have gone through.
It's hard to even imagine.
Yeah, what kind of lessons do you think we can take from this, especially for entrepreneurs?
Good question.
Well, I think it's about unwavering commitment to your vision.
Even when?
Even when you face seemingly impossible challenges.
Like heartbreaking choices.
Yeah, exactly. It's about that deep inner conviction that keeps you going.
Even when logic says to give up.
It's like those entrepreneurs who face impossible odds, risk everything.
Yeah.
They pour their heart and soul into something, even when everyone says it's crazy.
I can see that.
And it's about having the courage to make tough decisions.
Yeah.
Prioritizing the long term over the short term over personal comfort.
Like those leaders who make the hard calls.
Yeah, to restructure, lay off employees.
Or even change their whole business model.
Exactly. They do it because they believe in something bigger
Than themselves.
Yeah. And it's about that ultimate trust, that faith
In what?
in the unseen that guides you through those tough times.
I like that.
In Abraham's story, it's his faith in God
Right.
that leads to a different outcome.
Okay.
It shows the power of unwavering belief.
So even in those moments when everything seems lost,
Yeah,
there's still hope.
there's always a chance for a breakthrough.
A turning point.
Yeah, like fate stepping in.
Mhm.
And it's about understanding that the greatest rewards sometimes come after the hardest times.
So you have to persevere
Yes, and have faith.
and be willing to surrender to something bigger.
Exactly.
The story of Abraham is so powerful.
I know, right?
It's amazing how it connects to the things entrepreneurs face today.
It really is.
Yeah.
And as we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
Yeah.
I want to leave you with a question.
Okay, shoot.
How do you define success?
That's a good one.
Is it all about money?
Yeah.
Or is there something more?
A deeper meaning.
Yeah, like a higher purpose.
That drives your ambition.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a question that really makes you think, huh?
It does.
Like, what really gets you going? What kind of mark do you want to leave on the world?
Yeah, and I think it's a question that every entrepreneur, has to face sooner or later. Because the answer, it really shapes everything.
Really?
Yeah, the decisions you make, the people you surround yourself with, the legacy you build.
And I think Abraham's story shows that,
Yeah.
he wasn't just building a business to get rich.
Right.
He was building a nation, like a legacy that would last for generations.
Interesting how all these themes,
Yeah.
risk, vision, leadership,
Uh-huh.
they all come together in this last part of Abraham's story.
Okay.
The source talks about how even after everything he went through,
Mm-hmm.
he never gave up on that promise.
Right. The vision of a great nation.
Exactly. And that's where his leadership really shines, I think.
How so?
It wasn't just about telling people what to do.
Okay.
It was about inspiring them to believe in that vision.
To be a part of it.
Yeah, to share in the sacrifices.
And work together.
Exactly.
Like creating that feeling of purpose, right?
Yeah, like rallying people around a cause they really care about.
And the best entrepreneurs, they can do that.
Totally. They don't just build companies, they build movements.
Oh, I like that.
They make people think differently,
Yeah.
challenge the status quo,
Mm-hmm.
make a real difference.
It's like creating a ripple effect.
Yes. An impact that goes way beyond just their business.
Thanks.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into the story of Abraham,
Mm-hmm.
I want to leave you with a little challenge.
Okay.
As you think about your own goals and dreams,
Yeah.
ask yourself this: what risks am I willing to take?
Okay.
What legacy do I want to leave behind?
Those are good questions to think about.
They are.
It reminds us that entrepreneurship, it's not just about making money.
Right.
It's about creating a better future for everyone.
A future we can all be proud of.
Yeah, I like that.
And remember, the journey won't always be smooth sailing.
No.
There'll be tough times, setbacks, doubts.
That's true.
But those moments, that's where you really discover your strength,
Okay.
your resilience, your potential.
So embrace the journey.
Yes.
Learn from the mistakes.
Mm.
And never stop believing in your vision.
Who knows?
What?
You might just create something amazing.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, it was fun.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing those boundaries.